Alright guys, today I wanted to make a video about England's starting 11 specifically, so not just like the entire squad. I wanted to make a video because I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is the greatest England squad we've had in 15 years, basically since the so-called golden generation of around 2004 to 2006, where it featured Beckham, Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney, Owen, Campbell, Ferdinand, Terry, Cole, you name it, Gary Neville, Joe Cole, anyone, a lot of good players. And I think this might well be the best squad we've had in a long time, but I'm not convinced about the starting 11. So I'm going to compare Gareth Southgate's first starting 11 from 6 years ago to the one he started against Germany the other night. So before I start, different formations. 6 years ago it was a 4-3-3, and the other night it was a 3-4-3. So what I've done effectively is I've pushed Reece James and Luke Shaw back as fullbacks, and I've brought Eric Dyer forward into midfield. I'm going to compare them based on current form though, not as actually as players, so hopefully that makes a bit more sense. Right, so we'll start off with Nick Pope and Joe Hart. Now, Nick Pope at the moment for Newcastle is currently in very good form. He had a shocking performance against Germany the other night, but he's in very good form at the moment. Joe Hart at this time had just pretty much been kicked out of the Man City starting 11 by Pep Guardiola. He was the biggest victim of Guardiola joining Man City, if we're being completely honest, and got loaned out to Torino in Italy. So Nick Pope definitely has to take this one. Then Reece James and Kyle Walker as the right backs in this scenario. I think Kyle Walker was playing very well for Spurs at the time. It was the season where he played really well that, sort of convinced Pep Guardiola to spend £50 million on him. And he's being compared against Reece James in this situation. But Reece James right now is arguably Chelsea's best player at the moment. So for me, Reece James has to take this one. So if we're doing a score here, it's effectively 2-0. And then up next, I've got John Stones against Gary Cahill. Now, first of all, John Stones is going to appear twice in this. In fact, actually, you probably have to compare John Stones against John Stones here, because John Stones has always been the right-sided one. So John Stones in 2016 or John Stones now. I think John Stones now is probably the winner in that one, because in 2016 I remember he'd just joined Man City from Everton. He'd had a good period at Everton leading up to joining Man City, but right now he's sort of more trustworthy and dependable in Man City's defence, I feel, than he ever really has been. Maybe when Ruben Diaz first joined, they had a good partnership for a season a couple of years ago, but right now I think he's up there with his best performances for Man City. So yeah, I think he's probably better now than he was 6 years ago. Then you've got Harry Maguire or Gary Cahill. Not even going to spend any time talking on this one. Gary Cahill was part of a Chelsea team that won the Premier League that season, so it's got to be him. And then Luke Shaw or Ryan Bertrand. Ryan Bertrand, if I remember correctly, was in very good form at the time for Southampton. Luke Shaw currently can't get into the Man United starting 11. And when he has played this season, in both games he's played in the Premier League, he's been poor. So Ryan Bertrand's got to win this one. So we're currently 3-2 to the current team. Then you've got Eric Dyer versus Jordan Henderson. Now, Jordan Henderson was playing as a sitting midfielder for Liverpool and England in 2016. And Eric Dyer is currently the central centre-back in a back three for Tottenham and England. Now, in terms of form, Eric Dyer's in very good form, and so was Jordan Henderson for that period of time at the end of 2016. He was integral to the way Liverpool played, but got injured towards the end of that season. And it did cost Liverpool in a few games not having Henderson in the team. So I'm actually probably going to edge towards Henderson here. It might be biased, but I think he was playing in a slightly more important position. Like at Eric Dyer's position, as long as you're comfortable with the ball and are reasonably good at controlling the back line. I think it's a fairly not easy position to play, but knowable what you're going to do before the game. It's quite an easy situation to come up against, if that makes sense. And then Jude Bellingham or Dele Alli. It's got to be Dele Alli. Jude Bellingham's playing really well right now, but Dele Alli was in the absolute form of his life back in 2016, especially that one season. He scored 18 goals, I believe, in the Premier League, and it might have been more than 20 in all competitions. So he certainly has to beat Jude Bellingham. Declan Rice or Wayne Rooney? 100% Declan Rice. Wayne Rooney, great player, one of the greatest footballers England's ever produced. But back in 2016, again, he's another one who wasn't playing in his best position, had to come deeper as a result of, not being harsh here, but poor performances whilst playing in a forward role. Still had good performances in midfield, but after this was dropped from the England team and dropped from the Man United team, or the Man United starting 11 anyway. So Declan Rice is, again, a player who's just getting better and better, so he has to be in. And then we've got Raheem Sterling or Theo Walcott. Theo Walcott very much on the decline, so Raheem Sterling has to get into the team. Harry Kane or Daniel Sturridge. Again, Sturridge on the decline. Harry Kane has to get in. Harry Kane's currently playing some of the best football he's ever played, in a slightly different role to what he's previously done as well, it needs to be said. Phil Foden or Jesse Lingard. Now, this is a close one. Phil Foden, I feel as though is still playing very good, but he hasn't yet reached the level that I expected him to 2 or 3 years ago. He's sort of risen a bit, and he's risen to a very good level, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't quite gone up to like being one of the very best in the world, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that can't happen. I just think right now he's performing at a very consistent level, but not anything we haven't seen before. Whereas Jesse Lingard, this is probably the best season of his career at Manchester United, and he was putting in good performances for England as well, arguably better than Phil Foden is right now. So for me, I'm going to have to go with Jesse Lingard on this one, but it is very close, and that is purely because of what they're doing for England, because I think at club level it's quite similar, because Lingard was playing, he was more outstanding, if that makes sense, than Phil Foden is, because Foden's playing at a team who is at his level, if that makes sense, whereas Lingard was playing in a team that was probably a bit below his level at this period. It was Jose Mourinho's first season. Him and Ibrahimovic were two of the players that were very much, stopping a sinking ship at times, I think is fair to say. So yeah, if I add all of that up, I think that means it is 6-5 to the current England squad, which shows that although it's got better, the England's, I said the England squad just then, it's got better, the England starting 11, it hasn't drastically got better. So I think it does show a little bit that people are slightly overreacting, because although we've got so many talented players, if you go through like a 25-man squad, it's still, football, you can't play any more than 11 players at one time. These are the rules of the game. So I think, yes, I think people are slightly overreacting. Gareth Southgate should be doing better with this England team, with this group of players. But yeah, for me, I just don't think our starting 11 has actually got that much better to what it was when Southgate first came in, although maybe our substitute options might have, because who would be on the bench back then? Let's just take a guess. Probably Marcus Rashford, Adam Lallana. Harry Kane was injured at that period as well, that's important to know, and maybe Jamie Vardy. So yeah, there's some good options. In fact, they are some very good options. But we've probably got better defensive options as well, is what I would note. So it's probably not that much better, is what I'm trying to get at here. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.